Breaking news. Canon will reveal the new flagship 2028 Summer Games. It's not April Fool's, guys. But there is some news. Canon released two new cameras to the market. The Canon R5 Mark II and the long-awaited Canon R1 quote-unquote flagship camera. There's one big thing that just caught my eye, and that is the price. Both cameras are a little higher than what I've expected them to be. But let's go over the specs. First, the R5 Mark II. Highlights: 45 megapixel full frame stacked BSI CMOS sensor, digit accelerator processor, cross type dual pixel intelligent AF. It's not quad. It's not a quad pixel system. 8K 60 RAW, 4K 60s RAW, 4K 120, 10-bit video, up to 30 frames per second, pre-continuous shoot mode, an awesome EVF, 5.76 million dot EVF, 3.2 vari-angle touchscreen LCD, in-camera upscaling to 179 megapixels. That's kind of cool, right? CF Express and SD UHS-2 memory card slots. The R1 specs: 24 megapixel full frame stacked BSI CMOS sensor. 24 megapixel. Sound familiar? Man, when we started talking about the R1, 60 megapixels, all this talk, and then turns out Canon sticking the script. I mean, their flagship was always a low megapixel camera. I guess they're sticking with that. Digic accelerator, Digic X processing. It's an accelerated processor on top of the Digic X processor. Dual pixel AF with action priority. What an advanced autofocus system these Canon cameras, these latest Canon cameras have, the R1 and the R5 II. That's a total game changer for sports photographers, let me tell you. I mean, it's to be expected. Canon is the best out there when it comes to autofocus, and this latest two cameras, the R1 and the R5 II, wow, the autofocus system is so technical, so advanced that you're paying a price for it, sure, but it's totally awesome. Game changer. 6K 60 RAW and 4K 120 10-bit internal video. I guess in today's standards, that's pretty normal. A la the Z6 Mark III, and we'll get into that, the Z6 III. But up to 40 frames per second, pre-continuous shoot mode. That's impressive. 40 frames per second. This is probably the most impressive spec of the camera for me. 9.44 million dot EVF and OVF simulation view assist. That's pretty cool. I wonder what that looks like. 3-inch 2.1 million dot vari-angle touchscreen LCD, vertical grip built in, 2 CF Express Type B slots, which is pretty standard for a flagship. R1 is coming in at $6,299 US, $6,300, and that's before taxes. So you're looking at about a $7,000 camera. If you were to go and buy one retail, $7,000. That's not a joke of a number. The cross type AF is impressive on the R1. That's kind of a game changer. Cross type AF. Not sure if the R5 II has cross type, but some friends are telling me that the R5 II as well will have cross type AF. The R5 is coming in at $4,300 pre-tax. So you're looking at about almost $5,000 for the R5 Mark II and $7,000 for the R1. There are fast cameras. Saw a demo with two people passing the soccer ball around, and the camera with its intelligent knows that the ball is going from player to player and it shifts focus. That's kind of cool. I like that. That's positive. The other thing I like about the system is where you can take someone's face. Let's say you have 5 athletes on the field. You can actually let the camera know which athlete to just stick the focus to. That's kind of cool. It captures the face and it knows right away, okay, stick that focus on that selected person. Look, guys, it's no surprise that Canon has these two cameras with mind-blowing autofocus. You know, that's not a surprise. Canon has always had the best AF system around. Now, this thing can predict the future. The R1 has a feature where the AI kind of predicts what's going to happen with the autofocus system. It's got a mind-blowing, mind of its own autofocus system. This camera is advanced. The autofocus is like the best that we've probably ever seen ever. That being said, you're going to pay a price for that autofocus system. It's not going to be cheap, and it's not going to be for everybody. The EVF and the simulated OVF, I wonder what that looks like. I'm very curious to find out what that is, and the quality of the EVF is spectacular. Almost 10 million dots. Supposedly, the R5II is getting a new cooling system to keep the sensor cool, and the battery grip that you will buy has built-in fans in it as well. The video pre-capture is a pretty cool feature. 3 and 5 second pre-capture before you actually hit that record button. So these cameras are made for specific type of buyers, heavily into video. But congratulations to Canon. You know, they really put out 2 cameras that were long awaited. Whoa, you know, R1, you know, just leapfrog the competition, but I don't see it that way now. By the way, these 2 Canons, no global shutter. They're both stacked. Of course, there's going to be guys out there that's already, you know, in that ecosystem, has all the RF lenses. Of course, it's a no-brainer. They're going to upgrade. That specific type of professional sports shooter, this is the camera for you. And if money's no object, that's your camera. But for everyone else, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is the best option, because you have a Z9 out there with twice as much megapixels, fast, amazing camera, amazing video specs for a lot less money. And now the Z9 even went down. The used prices on the Z9 are ridiculously low right now. This just makes Nikon look even more attractive to the buyer. This R1 at $7,000, you know, 24 megapixels. That Z6 III is 1/3 the price of the R1. Now, don't kill me in the comments. I know it's a different class camera. The Z6 III is not as fast. The Z6 III doesn't do all those fast features, you know, all this tracking. It's got all these new features, especially with the camera knows the ball, you know. The sports athlete has the ball and it tracks focus accordingly. That's great. And the Canon's always been there when it comes to tracking and stickiness of the focus points. And these cameras probably have a gazillion focus points. That's fine.
Hey, not to be that guy, but look at these crooked lines and that door and that fire alarm. Come on, who's in charge of their marketing promo videos? What kind of amateurish job is this? Come on, Canon, you got to step up your game.
In today's economic climate, I think that people want not to spend a lot of money. The $7,000 is a lot of money for a body. What am I getting for $7,000? I can just buy a Z8 for $3,500, or I can buy another Z9 and be perfectly fine, you know. And for a fraction, half the price of a R1. So that's it. That's the rundown, guys. I mean, this makes me appreciate what Nikon has been doing all along. Sure, the Z6 III is not perfect camera. You know, there's a lot to improve on, and I think Nikon will improve the Z6 III with firmware updates. But for $2,500, the Z6 III just is eating everyone's lunch. And I told you guys. But see, here's the thing. Nikon is in a unique position because their flagship offers a 45 megapixel option with speed like no other. What Canon has been doing with the APS-C system, with the R7, that's something that Nikon does not have. And once Nikon addresses the D500, Z500 option, there's nothing that will stop them now, because the Z7 III would come out. That'd be like the A7 R5 camera competitor. The Z500 will be the R7 competitor. This is my opinion, but again, I want to say this, guys, not to take away what Canon has released. I'm sure these cameras are state-of-the-art, amazing. You know, there's a term we use here, bang for the buck. And these are not too friendly when it comes to the best bang for the buck. You're not going to get 30, 40 frames per second like the R1 is going to smoke the Z6 III, but 2 different cameras. But I'm going by 24 megapixel. What am I getting for $7,000 that I'm not getting for $2,500? You see what I'm saying? So anyway, that's about it, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think of these Canon releases. Finally, we have these cameras out. It took a long time. The hype was amazing for these two cameras, and now that they're out, now we could talk about it and we can dissect. We can see, okay, what's good, what's bad. Those are the things that I think were impressive. The EVF, the sports features, the focus trackings, pre-capture on the R1 is amazing as well. There's a lot of other things to go over, but these are just the highlights, and these are my thoughts right away. So anyway, leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts of what's going on here, and let me know if you agree with me that you think that this just makes Nikon a more appealing brand right now. So anyway, check out my live streams, guys. Vahagraphy Talk is back. Live streams every Tuesday morning, podcast every Monday morning. We're having some fun on this channel, making videos, more reviews coming soon. Yes, I will play with these Canon cameras. I'm actually eyeing it. I'm actually now more serious in eyeing an R3 to just pick one up for the side. I just want to have a Canon camera on the side just to play with, just to review, just to have fun, to compare on this channel. So I'm looking for a used R3 at a really good price. Yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. Anyway, guys, like and subscribe to Vahagraphy. Leave me a comment down below, and we'll see you on the next video. This is Vahagraphy. I'm Vahag, your rock and roll photographer. We'll see you soon. Rock and roll.